Welcome to Reef and Pond Wise. It's another pretty scary afternoon here in the hobby, guys. We're standing out in a about ready to be storm, so I wanted to get a quick video of this. So if you're new to the channel and you love reef keeping and pond keeping like I do, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss anything, because on this channel we talk all about reef and pond related stuff. And I wanted to show what is going on up here. We got a major storm moving in, and it's only 6 o'clock, but it looks like it's about 9 o'clock at night. But look at the sun and the light over here, and look at the darkness and the storm moving in over here. It's kind of crazy. I don't think I've seen a green tinted, almost like a algae type sky in a long time here in the Midwest, so it's a little concerning. It's so dark that you can see my waterfall lights on in the pond, yet you can see crystal clear the fish that are swimming around. So it's really an odd situation. And what I wanted to share was the testing that I did today. The GH, the KH, the nitrates, the nitrites, and my pH were all right on the money where you want to see them on a continual basis. So my GH and my KH is about 150, 0 nitrite, 0 nitrate, and my pH was about 8.0. Now, it's good because if we get this storm that they said is going to produce 60-mile-an-hour winds, we're going to get a lot of rain. And one of the things that you always want to look out for is good quality of water after a storm. And the reason I say that is because storm water is soft and it will quickly reduce your GH and your KH, and it will also drive down your pH, which could lead to fish death. Now, just as I'm speaking, the rain is starting to fall, and we're going to keep an eye on this, guys, because this might be a great example of what could happen during a live storm, a major storm, when you get torrential downpours and it affects your water quality. So thank God that the levels are elevated a little bit, other than the nitrate and the nitrite, and that way if we get bombarded with a lot of rainwater, we've got some compensation kind of built into our ecosystem here. And along with that, we have the proper flow from the fountain coming up from the bottom of the pond, which will help with the pond stratification in these types of situations. And what happens when it rains like this and it's really starting to come down, I'm standing underneath my gazebo so you can probably hear the rain. The water hits the surface of that pond and it will actually quickly deplete the oxygen in the pond, and the water flow will actually come up from the bottom of the pond and keep the pond oxygenated by bringing up and forcing the water to the top. So one of the things that I always try to keep in mind when you get these big rains like this is have your water parameters good, solid, prior to any major rainfall, and that way you can compensate a little bit for what gets depleted after the major rain. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I can show you the rain is like literally pouring down, and now all of a sudden, I just showed how light it was over there. It's green up in the sky. I don't think the camera is doing it much justice, but this is not a good situation for any pond or any pond keeper. And you can see how much rain we're getting at the moment. Not to mention, once we get these supposed 60-mile-an-hour winds, I'm worried about some of these tree limbs that may fall off of the trees over there into my pond. Now, the trees are not directly over the pond, but they're close enough where they could do some serious damage if indeed one of them fell inside the pond. So keeping an eye on that at the moment. And you can see the lightning. But one of the things that we just want to keep in mind, guys, when you get these major storms is keep an eye on your fish, keep an eye on the ecosystem, keep an eye on your power. One of the reasons that I'm out here is if the power does go out, I'll be sure to fire up my generator and keep the oxygen flowing in the pond with that fountain and my aeration over there. So it's going to be an interesting storm. I can also feel the cold air as we speak. So I'm not too thrilled about what I'm seeing so far. And it's so dark when normally at this time of the day it is super light outside. And it's so dark I'm going to have to turn my lights on inside the gazebo so I can see, which is a rarity here at my house. Usually don't have the pond lights on until well after 9:30, 10 o'clock in the summer. And here it is early and it is pitch dark. Look at this, the color of that sky, guys. It's crazy. But we're working through it. Hopefully we won't lose power. The Midwest and the Northeast this year have just been pounded by endless storms, non-stop. The pond is pretty close to being full, and I did a video not too long ago about pond overflow and how important it is to have that, so you may want to go back and take a look at that. But there's my overflow. That end of the bridge there is just a little bit lower than the rest of the edges of the pond, but high enough where it's going to retain the water inside the pond and just have enough water escape where it will run down to the drainage line that supports our neighborhood. So it's one of the things that you look for in the hobby, is to try to get through these storms. Looks like the fish are enjoying the weather, actually. They're playing over there in the waterfall and suckling on the edges of the pond. So, guys, if you enjoyed the video and you love reef keeping and pond keeping like I do, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comment section if there was any value in creating a video like this. And until next time, anyone can build a pond, but it takes someone special to keep one. And that someone special is you.